Hello and welcome to our pitch for our new app idea for a student service called Student Swap.
So our service is named Student Swap, and as the name suggests, it's a forum in which students will be able to swap goods with one another. The range of goods students will be allowed to swap or buy will be extended as possible, where possible and safe, and will cover academic goods such as textbooks, stationery, exercise books, and also covering goods of a less academic nature, such as furniture, clothes, and just miscellaneous items. So the idea was conceived in the hopes to directly fill a gap in the market for this type of service, as there are many people throughout the internet, particularly on social media platforms such as Facebook and Twitter, who really want to sell their old goods in a specific area or swap with others but don't really have access to an official platform, and one that's safe. So this is seen a lot at the beginning of the new semester where students are studying new modules and no longer have need for some of the books. So when we look at some of the goods like textbooks and miscellaneous items, people will be able to swap and arrange meetings using the app, and they're invited to either pay for the goods in person or just swap the goods with one another in person. But through expansion of the service, and university backing, we could potentially get a locker service. So the service itself will be available on 3 major application stores: Apple apps, Android and Windows, but will not be available to use on laptops or desktops as of yet. The main reason for this is because of Ofcom, the independent regulator of competition authority, because they found as a nation we're now using our phones more than we're using our computers to access the internet, with 2/3 of people owning a smartphone and spending an average of 2 hours a day either browsing, shopping or communicating. So at School University also have an app that has a multitude of features. We're hoping that we can possibly integrate the 2 apps and make them merge in the future. So one of the main factors to take into consideration when thinking about the apps directly is security. As the majority of students will undoubtedly have very little money when coming to the beginning of new semesters because of having to purchase books, ensuring the money is safe is a huge priority. So when Student Swap is first launched, payments were made most likely over PayPal, as PayPal is known to be one of the most secure ways and is very well known and can be very trusted. So assuming both parties are satisfied with their agreement, the funds will be both taken and transferred instantly, ensuring an extremely secure service. It also eliminates the potential issues that can arise from storing strong and sensitive information within the app itself. And upon further cooperation with the university, their own payment app Yo-Yo could be used alongside, and maybe include some kind of good storage service within the student union to allow for an equally safe method of making payments.
We believe this is an excellent idea for a new student service as it will really help students who are struggling financially. The main purpose allows students to buy, swap and sell items from furniture, textbooks, clothing and household items to other students. This will benefit students as well as the seller because they'll be getting rid of items they don't want, which will reduce wastage, and it will also mean that the person buying the items will have them at a reduced price, which will overall help with the cost of university. The university will also benefit from this service, as a small percentage of all sales will work as commission to go back into the service so it can help it fund itself in the future. There will also be other benefits to the university, such as the deposit lockers being located around main campus points, such as the Union. This can help with footfall and traffic into those areas and may see increases in sales from the Union shop and Sanctuary and Eats, etc. To support our claims, we've conducted some primary research. Of the 50 students we surveyed, 60% said they did use online selling sites, and 80% of these used them to buy things. Of these 80%, we then found the most popular types of items were textbooks and clothing. We then asked whether the students would use the proposed service, and 50% answered highly likely and 50% answered moderately likely. With these two being the highest options, it shows that there's a real, there's a need for this service at the university. 50% of students said they'd use it for a combination of buying and selling, and the other 50% was made up of either buying or selling alone. So again, it shows that all ranges of the service would be used by students. We also found from this survey some more practical things about how the service would work. 80% said they'd rather use the service PayPal for the payment methods of the service, so we've decided to go for this. We also conducted some secondary research by looking at the current market for online selling sites, specifically ones aimed at students, such as sellstudentstuff.com. This service appeared to be active and well followed, so we think that there is a market if this was to be made more locally. Primary research is known for being particularly reliable in any field, but arguably more so when applied to market research. It allows us to find information that fits the necessary demographic very closely and is such in the best way to help us really understand our market. However, with this in mind, primary research is also sustainably harder to seek as the research involves no third party and is much and time consuming and not always feasible with the large demographics. So we would do more market research before we took this project further.
The skills we have are organisation of events, coordinating, communication, team working, meeting deadlines, finance and demand, and marketing capabilities. All of these skills are essential for running our app, which have been gained through both academic and practical experience. We all come from different degree disciplines within the field of business, giving us diversity and depth within the different areas. Firstly, an understanding of finance is crucial in raising the necessary funds to support the project and to allocate them effectively. It will be of further importance once the app is running to understand profits and how/where in the project to reinvest this to continually improve and build upon the service. We also have the knowledge and skills to market our app to our target market efficiently. Due to previous academic experience within the team, we have undertaken market research and analysed this to allow us a deeper understanding. Other skills we have can be seen through applying Belvin's team roles to ourselves. According to this theory, Megan has the skill of being a shaper. The shaper is described as contributing through having the drive and courage to overcome obstacles. Both Connor and Alex are implementers. Implementers are described as being disciplined, reliable, conservative and efficient. They turn ideas into practical actions. Hannah is a coordinator, which is described as contributing through being mature, confident and a good chairperson. The coordinator clarifies goals, promotes decision making and delegates well. This is a people-orientated role. I am a plan. My contribution is described as being creative, imaginative and unorthodox. I solve difficult problems. This demonstrates that within the team we collectively have the skills to meet deadlines, overcome any obstacles we may face, solve problems, work as a team and ensure organised events run smoothly, with roles such as implementers and a coordinator specifically guiding coordination and communication. We have at least one team member that falls into each of the three core categories: action-orientated, people-orientated and cerebral. This suggests that we have a well-balanced team and therefore we should work effectively, although we do not have a team member which fulfills each of Belvin's roles. However, due to the different interpretations that Belvin's theory can have, outcomes for an individual may depend upon the mood and what stage of their life they're in, so we have considered Belvin's roles as just a guide to effectively assess one another's strengths. By assessing these strengths, we can use them to address the skills gap we have. For example, Connor and Alex have addressed how we can turn our idea of an app into reality by identifying where we can source extra help, and Hannah can effectively delegate the tasks that need to be completed to those external to the team. Megan can ensure that different tasks are being actioned by those who help, and I can use my creativity to assist with graphics and design. This demonstrates how we can adapt our existing skills to aid in bridging the skills gap.
I'm going to evaluate and analyse the skills that we are lacking as a team and how we intend to gain these skills with your funding. I've looked at the importance of each skill to the project working, regardless of our own skills. The skills we do not have are as follows: IT skills, specifically a database user, a graphic designer, an app developer, an in-app communication system specialist, and a security logistics specialist. I used the 2010 Rational Actor model by Husinski and Buchanan as a way to overcome the problems we faced from the lack of technically minded members of our team. For example, defining the problem was the first stage, as in identifying the skills that we were missing. This was an integral part of our brief. The next stage of the model is to generate alternatives, such as hiring a graphic designer as an alternative to us having little design skills. Following this is selecting an alternative, which I did by narrowing down where we would secure a graphic designer from. In this case, it was agreed that we would contact design students from Hull College in order to collaborate with them. The next stages, once we have secured funding, would be to implement this solution and review the results. I carried out this analysis for each of the skills that we believed we were lacking. In terms of security logistics, we can consult with both the university to see what their insurance covers and liaise with Amazon. We would ask them how they ensure that the right person gets the right delivery and the payment is secure. If we were to approach them in a professional manner, we would hope that this would not impact our budget. Security is crucial to the success of our project, as it is highly dependent on a positive reaction and a good reputation amongst students. When it comes to a graphic designer and an app developer, my suggestion would be to approach fellow students on computer science or design courses. I also used Belvin's theory of team roles to identify Zoe as the most creative member of our team. We would utilise this fact when designing the app in order to get the ideas of our group into the correct app format. This works for both parties in that we get cheap, innovative ideas and help setting up our app, and the student that chooses to help us has a great talking point for interviews, and should the app be a success, a highlight for their CV. It is of the utmost importance that our app not only looks good, but also does exactly what you need it to and can be relied on every time. It is worth noting that an in-app payment system would need to be budgeted for, not only for the peace of mind of our customers, but also in order to correctly and safely take our revenue. Having widely researched our options, it seems that our best option would be to go through PayPal, a recognised, trusted and widely used payment method, especially amongst our demographic. As a business, PayPal gives us two options: pay a smaller percentage per item sold, but pay no monthly cost, which means the client would have to check out via the PayPal website. Alternatively, we can pay a £20 per month fee and have our own PayPal checkout on our app. Both of these options should be considered when budgeting for the app's overheads. An in-app communication system is a novelty that we would like to make a key feature of our app. This would involve speaking to a consultant, which could be costly, as none of the team possess the skills to set up this kind of system. Alternatively, we could use the university email system as an inbuilt part of the app. This could cut our costs in sourcing new skills, as we can consult with the team at the university who run the system anyway, about how to integrate theirs with ours. Failing that, this is a feature that could possibly become a reality in later releases of the app. If it takes off and we believe that it would run more smoothly with a communication system, then we could look at investing profits in a professional consultant who could help us set that up. I hope that what you take from my research is a strong sense of how determined we are to make this app a success. By identifying the skills that we are lacking, we are forward planning for problems that we may encounter in the future and have already implemented an efficient system for dealing with them.
After a discussion as a group, we decided on the skills we needed to gain through funding. These are IT skills, being someone who can operate a database, graphic designer, and app developers, someone who can develop an in-app communication system, and someone to develop security logistics. Currently, we don't have the IT skills necessary to run a database because we only have limited IT experience. This is either to a GCSE or A-level standard, so we've not covered the level needed to run a database. We believe we need someone with IT experience to a degree standard and who preferably has experience of operating a database currently. On the subject of graphic design, we have little or no experience as a group of graphic designing, and this we see as an issue as we'd not be able to design the app properly to function. Therefore, we require funding which we'd be able to use to gain someone with experience of being an app graphic designer and who could design the app properly for us. We also need funding in order to fund an app developer to develop the app. Graphic designers' designs of an app into a properly functioning app. We need this because we don't have the skills or experience of developing apps, so this is a necessity for us to be able to run our idea properly. Another area needed through funding is the need to develop an in-app communication system. This is but needed because as a group none of us would be able to develop an in-app communication system because of the fact that none of us have training or experience required in order to do this. Finally, security for the app would need funding in order to keep the app secure, as we do not have any training or skills to set the security system for the app. Someone who does have the necessary skills and training to set up a security system would need to be hired in order to do this. The idea of delegation is important to this. This is about entrusting others with appropriate responsibility and authority for the operation and or accomplishment of certain activities. The vicious circle idea could help to explain the difficulties we could endure when delegating particular tasks. For example, for the skills that we currently don't have, it would be difficult to delegate to team members, as currently we don't have the training or time to complete these tasks. A way out of this would be to delegate these tasks to people who have the training and skills to carry out the tasks. The advantages of delegation include the freeing up of time for managers, helping managers to prioritise their work, helping managers assess the potential of their people, highly motivating for the people to whom work is delegated, in get to do more challenging work. It can also act as a development tool by increasing the range of skills in a team. It can also help with succession planning by exposing people to other levels of work. The issues involved with delegation, however, include the fact that delegation can take time. There is a level of risk involved, and the fact that not having people with sufficient resources, time or cost.
Thank you for listening to our pitch for our idea of student swap. We hope you really buy into it and can give us the financial support that we need to make this idea become reality.